Let us now sing the praises of famous men, our ancestors in their generations. The Lord appointed to them great glory, the majesty, or His majesty from the beginning. There were those who ruled in their kingdoms and made a name for themselves by their valor. Those who gave counsel because they were intelligent. Those who spoke in prophetic oracles. Those who led the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of the people's lore. They were wise in their words of instruction. Those who composed musical tunes or put verses in writings. Rich men endowed with resources, living peacefully in their homes. All these were honored in their generations and were the pride of their times. Some of them have left behind a name, so that others declare their praise. But of others there is no memory. They have perished as though they had never existed. They have become as though they had never been born. They have their children after them. They and their children after them. But these also were godly men whose righteous deeds have not been forgotten. Their wealth will remain with their descendants, and their inheritance with their children's children. Their descendants stand by the covenants, and their children also for their sake. Their offspring will continue forever, and their glory will never be blotted out. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their names live on generation after generation. The assembly declares their wisdom, and the congregation proclaims their praise. To Isaac also he gave the same assurance for the sake of his father Abraham. The blessing of all people and the covenant he made to rest on the head of Jacob. He acknowledged him with his blessings and gave him his inheritance. He divided his portions and distributed them among 12 tribes. From his descendants the Lord brought forth a godly man who found favor in the sight of all, and was beloved by God and people, Moses, whose memory is blessed. He made him equal in glory to the holy ones, and made him great to the terror of his enemies. By his words he performed swift miracles. The Lord glorified him in the presence of kings. He gave him commandments for his people, revealed to him his glory. For his faithfulness and meekness he consecrated him, choosing him out of all humanity. He allowed him to hear his voice, lead him into the dark cloud, and gave him the commandments face to face, law, life, and knowledge, so that he might teach Jacob the covenant, Israel his decrees. He exalted Aaron, a holy man, like Moses, who was his brother of the tribe of Levi. He made an everlasting covenant with him, gave him the priesthood of the people. He blessed him with stateliness, put a glorious robe on him. He clothed him in perfect splendor and strengthened him with the symbols of authority. Linen undergarments, the long robe, and the ephod. And he encircled him with pomegranates, many golden bells all around, to send forth a sound as he walked, making their ringing heard in the temple as a reminder to his people. And the sacred vestment of gold and violet and purple, the work of an embroiderer, with the oracle of judgment, Urim and Thummim, with twisted crimson, the work of an artisan, the precious stones engraved like seals in a setting of gold, the work of a jeweler, to commemorate in engraved letters each of the tribes of Israel, with a gold crown upon his turban, inscribed like a seal with holiness, a distinction to be prized, the work of an expert, a delight to the eyes, richly adored. Before him, such beautiful things did not exist. No outsider ever put them on, but only his sons and his descendants in perpetuity. His sacrifices shall be wholly burned twice every day and continually. Moses ordained him, anointed him with holy oil. It was an everlasting covenant for him, for his descendants, as long as the heavens endure, to minister to the Lord and serve as priests and bless his people in his name. He chose him out of all the living to offer sacrifice to the Lord, incense and a pleasing odor as a memorial portion, make atonement for the people. In his commandments he gave him authority and statutes and judgments to teach Jacob the testimonies, to align Israel with his law. Outsiders conspired against him, envied him in the wilderness. Dathan and Abiram and their followers in the company of Korah in wrath and anger. The Lord saw it and was not pleased, and in the heat of his anger they were destroyed. He performed wonders against them to consume them in flaming fire. He added glory to Aaron and gave him a heritage. He allotted to him the best of the first fruits and prepared bread of first fruits in abundance. For they eat the sacrifices of the Lord, which he gave to him and his descendants. But in the land of the people he has no inheritance, and he has no portion among the people, for the Lord himself is his portion and inheritance.